Go mad for Jesus. Make a difference. Link FM.
In the studio with me today, I have Tanita. Good morning, Tanita.
Good morning, Titch.
Good morning,
Viva.
Bianca.
Good morning.
What's up?
Good. Hello, Zoe.
Morning, everyone.
Right, we're talking today about websites. Okay, and I'm going to start on my left with Tanita. Tell us, what you guys are doing our website that we know. Speak to us about that this morning.
Okay. So we wanted to touch on how important your web presence is and how important it is to have a website as a business.
Okay.
And one of the things that a website does is instantly give you that added bit of credibility as a business, that legitimate credibility that you are, registered business, and the thing is, in today's day and age, if I had to just ask you this question, Titch, when you have any sort of problem or you're looking for something, say, for example, you want to look for the best Indian restaurant in East London, where are you going to go?
Yeah. I've been onto websites before and I've looked at it and I've thought, like, really? This is so... There's just no information on it. So, I mean, you're going to ask, where do you go? You're either going to go into social media or you're going to go into the World Wide Web.
You're going to Google it.
You're going to Google it. But the thing is, just coming back to what I said, I was looking for something in the line of... I don't want to get too personal here because then I'm going to... But it was something that you would buy at a hardware store. Okay? And I went to one or two hardware and stores, websites around town, and I was super confused. I couldn't find what I was looking for. It was difficult to navigate. And so that, to me, is important when looking for information, looking at somebody's website. I want to find something that's easy to navigate. So I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go to your website. If it's not easy, I'm going and I'm logging off and I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah. So in today's day and age, like, just to put it quite frank, people are quite lazy in a sense. We're not going to go drive around and go and look in every single place what each business does, and
but the same on the website. You're not going to be driving around there looking. It's confusing. I can't find what I'm looking for. I'm going away. I'm going to look for something else.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was trying to say is, nowadays if you Google somebody and they're not online, they don't have a website, they don't exist to you, So having that web presence is so important.
Absolutely.
Because now you've opened yourself up to this larger audience of people.
Yeah, that's so true. And when we talk about websites,
Come close to that, Mark, Zoe.
We talk about websites, we talk about increasing our clientele because your business may be in East London and that's all that's just it,
Yeah.
But as soon as you have a website, you're expanding to the entire nation,
Absolutely.
your service and your product can go nationwide as well as international. So you got to think about it as a growth step in your business. Having a website.
I mean, I've actually looked for a business online and not found a website. They only have a social media presence, Facebook, and or vice versa. They've got no Facebook presence, but they've got a website that's half baked.
Yes.
And as Zoe said, it's not just local. Don't look at yourself as just being a local company. You got to look at the bigger picture. Is that people from anywhere in the world can see who you are.
Yes. Yeah, and kind of to add on to the social media thing, it's also very important when you have a website, put on your social media platforms.
Yes, yeah.
Because people
Link them.
link them because your website is going to be what you also said is going to be a broader aspect of what your company stands for.
Yeah.
All your information, it's so much easier to have it on a website. If you have it on socials, let's say you and Viva and Titch, let's say you guys are talking right now, and I want to know how you guys look like. I'm going to go on your socials, probably going to scroll through a few things to find you guys, but on the website, you're going to be like right on top.
Yeah.
It's going to be a picture of you and Viva speaking on the webs.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Right there. So have a broader aspect on your website, to kind of show clients and corporates and anybody that's interested, this is who you guys stand for, and all your information is there because clients wants to know who you guys are, because these days we live in a world of fraud and everything, and we even read in the Bible there's gonna be hypocrites, there's gonna be all those kind of things, and a website is just gonna give that confirmation for clients. Yeah, that credibility of being like, this is a real company, it's not a fake one. Yeah.
But I know I'm sounding like I'm harping on this thing here, but for me, a website, and I do a lot of that, having to go and check out, as you were saying, you want to see that it's not fake, that you're dealing with the real deal. And I had a situation last week when I was but I was looking to acquire the services of a service provider. And I just couldn't navigate this website, man. It was so difficult. I was like, geez, this is freaking me out. Then you click here, then they want you to fill in this. And then when you click submit, it's like, but then you got to go back to step one. You got to start all over again. It was like, geez, this is driving me nuts. And it was just so difficult that I just wanted to go away from it and find something easier.
That's why a well-built website is so important. Having that user interface that's friendly for a customer. And I mean, that's also why it's really important to have people that know what they're doing working on your website. I mean, tracking your analytics, tracking the traffic on your website, seeing where people are losing interest. I mean, if you've got a store and people are deciding to check out before your checkout page, something's wrong. You know, so it's important to have that sort of people checking in on your website, and an agency that knows what they're doing. You know, just to touch on the whole side of expanding your audience, you're not just expanding your audience, you're also expanding your hours, because a lot of the time people are busy during the day, and it might be in the evening when you come home and your roof's leaking and you're like, oh my goodness, now I need to find a company that can do maintenance for my house. You're going to start Googling in the evening. You're expanding your hours. You're 24/7 online. Therefore, if somebody wakes up at midnight and decides now's a good time to try and Google things, you're there. So you're not just expanding your audience, you're expanding your hours. And with the whole social media things, you know, social media gets you an audience, it gets you followers, but when you add a website to it, you turn your followers and your audience into customers and into actual leads. And that's where a website's so important, and how it ties into your marketing so well is that it allows you to create a lead or create a client out of your following and your audience.
And your website's got to be fine-tuned. You don't want too much. We've already, I've made it very clear what I look for in a website. But you also don't want too little. You know, it's like, there's nothing on this. I mean, like, really, it's got to be comprehensive, but not over the top, complicated and just too much. So there's that balance that you got to strike. And that balance, I believe, can only be achieved by liaising with the likes of Aesthete creative agencies and ourselves. And we spend time with you guys. This is what we want, this is what we're looking for. And I go often and I look at our website and I think, that needs to change, or that's not right, or no, it's not quite what, I'm not getting the message there. So it's a two-way street to make sure that website's good. It can't be just left up to you.
No, 100%.
You got to work with the client, and the client's got to work with you.
Look, your imagination is the limit when it comes to a website. That's one of the most beautiful things about a website, is nothing's ever set in stone. You know, you can always start small with the website and the most basic package, and add a page, add a store, add to it. As your business grows, your website can grow with you. And that's one of the lovely things about having a website as a marketing tool. That it's not just a marketing tool, it also takes so much weight off your business if done properly. Like, a lot of companies do bookings by hand. Just that, having that feature on your website, taking your bookings in online, can actually save you a whole staff salary. So, you know, websites are not just a marketing tool. They're a business management tool if used correctly as well.
I want to come to Zoe quickly, because the last time I spoke, you said you were going to be doing creating apps and so on and so forth. A website is great on a big screen like this, but if I pick up my device, I've got to be able to see the same thing, if not better, on a small phone.
That's true. That's where I step in with mobile apps.
That's what I thought.
So what I do is I specialize in the development of mobile applications in iOS as well as Android. So you can have your application on either the iOS platform or Android Play Store. It's actually a bit easier in my, if I had to think about it, making a booking on booking.com is so much easier on the app as compared to the website for me. So
it's important that the two they're different,
but they combine. They do the same thing in a sense. But having an app is really, it's a solution. Trust me.
Here we go. Solved. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. 30 seconds, Bianca. I want you to wrap it up this morning. You big into the photography and those. So images on a website are so important.
That is true. That is very true.
And there's a lot of stock images out there that mean nothing to me. But if I'm looking at a company that is in East London, and I see the people that are in that company on the pictures on the website, to me that just makes it more personal as well.
Of course, yeah, that is 100% personal. That's why taking good photography and good shots of people is important, and to show visual effects for people, because sometimes, like, you guys are a radio company. Like, I know before, I never knew you guys faces.
Yes.
But, you know, taking a pic and have a pic on your socials, on your website, is literally telling me this is who this person is. And photography is just always good. You know, good lighting, good everything. It's important to have that.
Go mad for Jesus. Make a difference. Link FM.